Hello everyone, my name is afjol hussain, student of MSc Management, University of Hertfordshire. My student ID is 21076712. My research topic is: do we need legislation to ensure that business organizations follow or use social business models? A case study on Amazon Fresh UK. In the next slide, I'll explain my research aim. This research aimed to investigate the legislation regarding to the social business model which organization needs to follow in the UK. Now, my research objectives are to understand the social aware models and their integration into the business practices of modern times, to evaluate the various impact of legislation in aligning the procedure regarding the transformation of traditional business into social aware business organization, to carry out the case study on Amazon Fresh UK criticizing its activity following its business model concerning social business models. The research questions are: what are the social aware models and their integration into the business practice of modern times? What are the various impact of legislation in aligning the procedure regarding the transformation of traditional business into social aware business organization? What are activities of Amazon Fresh UK following its business models to turn it into social business models? In the next slide, I'll explain background of my topic. Social responsible business model are the models for profit organization that operate the business not only for profit but also sustainable economic, social, and environmental perspective of the society. Said Lars Mutes, France, Millicent, and I do 2018. This type of business model are necessary in the current world as it helps to reduce the negative impact on the environment and society while providing different positive effects. Social responsibility in a business company is related to ethical labors practices, inclusiveness, taking eco-friendly measures, charity, and others. It also helps to increase the moral or ethical consideration of the company. In the next slide, I'll explain importance of research objective to the sector. The research objective are important as the help to understand if the government of the UK needs to legislation to ensure that business follow the social business models. The study will also analyze how to legislation influence the company's perspective of adapting the social business models. The study will use Amazon Fresh to understand the action, procedures, and influencer in adapting the social business of the company to understand the effect of legislation in this context. Now, beneficiaries of conclusion and recommendation. The beneficiary of the research study is mainly lawmakers and employers. Lawmakers will be able to take data-driven decisions to implement social business models by their companies. The employers will be aware of the necessity and responsibility as well as the advantage of adopting of social aware models. The next slide shows evidence of good data collection. The study is conducted according to the ethical consideration. The secondary data with public access has been used in this study, and the writer also provides credit or proper references so that no ethical violation occurs. While using the data, the researcher also considered the appropriateness of the data and the data source. To identify reliable or credible data sources, the researcher has used the CREP method, the research currency time of the dataset. If the dataset is up to date or relevance, if the topic of the dataset is related to the research authority, the source of information, accuracy of the information provided in the data source is accurate, purpose for which purpose the article or the dataset has been published. If it for study, research purpose, or any others according to Juni. Here is the evidence of good data collection and good uses of the data. These are the references that have a significant impact on the study. So feel free to give this a look. In the next slide, I'll explain why the data sources are valid. The data sources are valid because all the data sources are current and up to date, as all the data are from 2014 to 2023. The data sources are related to the topic of research like socially aware business models, impact of legislation, and others. The data are produced for the purpose of study or research and published in a credible website, book, or journal. And information provided in the data source is peer-reviewed and thus accurate. The writer have a great academic knowledge about the writing pieces, and by utilizing the sources we can meet the objective of our research properly. Now, how did I source the data sources? To find valid data sources, I have searched different reliable or credible websites like Google Scholar, PubMed, and research using different keywords, including socially aware models, the impact of legislation, Amazon Fresh UK case study, and others. In the next slide here, the key data sources is qualitative data for the study. The study a literature and practice review to develop sustainable business model architecture is a systematic review that was published in a prominent journal. The study shows a brief review of sustainable business model in a fragment and can be example of the development of sustainable models of business. The study promoting more socially responsible corruption through a corporate law regulatory framework critically analyzes the correlation between CSR with related regulation. The pragmatic approach has been used in the study, the development of responsible and sustainable business practice. The impact of organizational green culture and corporate social responsibility on employees, the responsible behavior towards society, so the CSR has a significant roles in the development of society and encourage the business to adopt socially aware business models. Now, I'll explain findings and data analysis. Research philosophy is the procedure of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting the data for the research purpose. Pragmatism states that knowledge is changeable with time, and according to the research philosophy, the researcher can use different methods of research to meet the objective of the research and answer the research question, according to Hedges and Sherrock 2016. A different method of data collection has been used in this study to meet the objective, including case studies, online research, article journals, and others. The study used secondary data sources for conducting this study. Secondary data sources refer to the data set collected by other people or organizations rather than the researcher. As the qualitative data methods are subjective and open-ended, they can provide a rich understanding related to the necessity of legislation to ensure the social business model for the organization. Now, here is my first objective. This study is a systematic literature review to develop a sustainable model in a business, said Buck in 2019. According to the study, that the business model is a design or tool that can be used in the business for analysis, operation, management, and other process. Sustainable business considered three bottom lines approaches, according to Jacobson 2019. Socially aware models are more needed as it encourages the reduction in consumption and explore societal, economic, as well as environmental growth. This system is built in collaboration rather than competition with each other. This is my second objective. CSR referred to corporate social responsibility and was once considered as a noble oblige, as there are no widely accepted definition for CSR. according to Leonido 2019. The goal of CSR is to achieve goals that are socially, economically, and environmentally sustainable. Different countries have adapted to CSR law, and there is a company law 2006 in the UK to promote the success. Uh, by adopting CSR law, it can generate a 17% increase in productivity. In the next slide, here is my third objective. Amazon Fresh UK has four principles related to CSR, including consulting on customer, considering passion, sustainability, and operational excellence, according to Amazon 2022. In 2022, the company has reduced 7% carbon intensity. The company has an aim to net zero carbon emission by 2040. They are aimed to use 100% recyclable packaging within 2023. And they have provided free training to 29 million people to upgrade their skills. In the next slide, I'll explain critical evaluation. CSR or corporate social responsibility is one of the external texts of any organization that helps the organization to meet the needs of the stakeholders and impact positively on society, the economy, and the environment. While corporate law is developed so that the company implement different operational, including CSR according to the law, it has been found that there are no clear or proper regulation for implementing CSR, and again, there is a positive correlation between legislation and implementing social aware business model. For that reason, the government needs to implement much clear legislation is to CSR to accelerate the development of society. In the next slide, here shows conclusion. Corporate social responsibility is necessary to fulfill by companies as it provides different opportunities to both companies and society. By implementing corporate social responsibility, sustainable social, economic, and environmental growth can be achieved. While the company can generate brand identity, customer loyalty, and other positive advantages, it is a responsibility as well as a part of voluntary activity. While the legislation can accelerate the implementation of CSLR. In the next slide shows recommendation. This is a contradiction whether adopting social responsibility is a voluntary tax or not, and for that reason, implementing appropriate legislation is necessary to accelerate social, economic, and environmental development. Amazon Fresh UK has taken different steps to make eco-friendly steps. It also arranged training session for the people to make more positive changes. The company can consider the needs of the people and empower black people, disabled people, and women. In the next slide, I'll explain critical reflection. In this research, I have used a qualitative method and I did not develop any algorithm to measure the effectiveness of legislation in adapting social business by the organization. It would have been better if any algorithm was developed to measure the effectiveness of legislation. The study can generate better result. Have explored a lot of research papers, articles, and journal as it will be helpful to gather unnecessary insight. In addition, the study also need to use a quantitative data sources to make a evaluation. It will be better if I use primary data sources for the research. This research helped me to identify valid data sources, and also about the research process I need to consider data collection and data processing as well as time management process if any research from now. And this is the end of this presentation. Hopefully it has been made clear what the social aware models are and the various impact of legislation concerning and transformation of traditional business into social aware businesses. Here is my references. Please feel free to go to them. Thank you again, and thank you my module leader, and thank you my tutors.